Okay, recording is started. So considering no replace from anybody, so I'll think everybody understood the previous topics. And Vanshika, please go through those previous classes, whatever you got access. And in case if you have any doubts, you can get in touch with me.
Okay, sir.
So far we have done something related to data tables. Some of the concepts we have already learned, right? Related data tables. Like the most of the majority of the important things we have already covered in our day-to-day development activities. Whatever is needed, we have covered. So merge data table and sort data table. These two, let's take it bit later. These are also like similar to data tables concept only, but we will discuss this maybe sometime later. Just remind me in the later on stage about these two data tables. Okay. So now uh, according to the plan, we will have to start this concept of recordings and automating a web application and those things. So in that area, we will like integrate this Excel, whatever we have done so far with the reading the data of an Excel, writing the data to an Excel, this data table concept, everything. So let's start with a fresh session now because from last 2 3 days we are dealing with data tables, Excel, and all. So let's start a new process and start learning the new things. Okay. So let's start something called web automation. If you remember in the initial day, like in the first week, we have started with iPhone automation. If you remember, that's a data scrapping concept where you were able to retrieve the list of iPhones from the web application. But I have not showed you how to open a web application, how to get the data from that web application or anything like that. I've never showed you anything like that, right? So let's start step by step. So you can take your own application, whatever you want after this session, not now. After this session, you can take your own website, whatever you wanted to automate. But just for the reference, I will take one of the website. Okay. So to take that example, first of all, what you need to do is when you are in the process, you see which process like which uh, design you're currently using at this moment. For example, if you click on this home button and then you click on this settings button and then click on this design section and then you see use modern for new projects. I already spoke about this modern design concept. The modern design means in UiPath we have the new activities. Now, how do I prove that this is a new project is if I type open browser, you don't have any activity called open browser, but there used to be an activity called open browser earlier, which is called as classic design. So if you want to open a browser, we used to do that open browser related thing. So what I thought personally is in an interview may come up like when you go for an interview, the questions will be majority related to when do you use open browser, when do you use attached browser. And with this open browser and attached browser related knowledge, you can also explore this modern design concept as well. So in this training session, whatever I'm doing at this moment, I would go with classic related activities and I will leave it to you to use like the same way, whatever we do, same way you can also use the modern related activities. I will just show what is modern activity, what is classic activity. So if you click on this filter, this option, and then you see this option called show classic. So what is show classic means you will also see the classic activities also. So modern means latest, classic means previous. So the moment you click on this classic activity, so you'll also see all the activities related to classic activities. Okay. If you wanted to speak about this, like sir, we need only modern design activities, sir. We don't want classic design activities. Then I will go with modern design. No, sir, I wanted to understand how previously we used to have these activities. Then I'll go with classic design. I just wanted to take your opinion because you are the person who's gonna start learning the things. So just wanted to understand, do you want me to explain the classic activities or modern activities? Let's start with Sri Lakshmi. What is your opinion on this?
Um, Anything is fine, sir. But data scraping we did from classic design, right?
Yeah, we did it in classic design. But once you select modern design and all, the majority of the things will always look like same.
Same,
Uh,
yeah.
but small things you need to explore. No, sir, we wanted to learn the modern design only. I will also do it with the modern design only. But I will tell you one problem. The problem
Mm-hmm.
is now in the recent interviews when you go now, you may expect a question like, can you tell me the difference between let me show you that you this is the classic folder activities. So somebody will ask you, can you tell me the difference between open browser and test browser? So to answer this question, you will have to learn these activities. No,
Yes,
sir,
sir.
we are fine because the problem is modern design is something we are doing the developments in the recent times, the very recent times. But when you people are going with 2 years, 3 years of experience, so definitely you should have the knowledge of this activities. So it's up to you. I am very comfortable in explaining both the things. If I tell you classic activities, if you explore on your own the modern activities, I am fine. Like in our session, you can just tell me, sir, I'm not understanding one of the modern activity. Can you tell me about that? I will also tell about that. But I just wanted to take the opinion. But both of the activities I cannot cover with the limited time, whatever we are having now. So before I deal with the next steps, just wanted to take your opinion on this. So, Srilakshmi, what do you say?
I think it's we'll go for classics.
Okay, Srilakshmi says classic. Anshika,
Classics.
Sushmit,
Classic will do.
Nirmala, Nirmala, if you are okay.
Classic design is okay, sir.
Okay, thank you. So, like all of you have said classic design only, so I will go with the classic activities. And when you select the modern design activities, it will be something similar. So, a class modern means you have having the latest activities, like latest updates to your previous activities. So, as everybody said, we will go with the classic. I will go with the classic activity. Okay, so now if you see, we clearly have this open browser. So by listening to this activity, opening a browser. So when you wanted to open a browser, generally, okay, generally tell me if you if you need to open a browser, what all the information, well, first of all, what is browser? What do you mean by browser? Anybody, please feel free to tell. Have you ever heard about this name called browser? Never heard about this name called browser.
Sir, it's searching for some information, sir.
Searching for some information. Okay. Any other points? Guys, please feel free
The
to say anything
world
comes to your mind.
World Wide Web, we can get we can access data whatever we want from all over the world.
Okay, great. Next, Fishmith, 1 point from you. What is that you get into your mind when you hear a term called browser?
Browser is a user interface where we used to uh, get the information in a graphical form.
Okay, and Nirmala?
Sir, it's
Communication seems
searching for
okay.
data,
Search,
sir.
search for data. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. So now I understood in which level you are at this moment related to browser. Okay. So like everybody
Sir,
said
you missed
related.
Vanshika actually. You asked Nirmala twice.
Okay, sorry. Vanshika. Vanshika, what comes to your mind when you listen to a term called browser?
Searching the various kinds of information.
Okay, again, same category, searching for information. Okay, thanks. So now let me tell you what is browser, what are the things you need to understand related to browser. This is basic session, whatever we are doing now. So please understand that this session I will cover very basic level because the answers you gave is also very basic. If somebody would have told, sir, this one, then I would have told you in a different way. But all of these answers, you four people have told me, again, a very simple thing. You said, sir, if I want some information, I will go to this and then search for data. For example, www.google.com or Wikipedia page or whatever. So now, first of all, let me tell you, in browsers, we have multiple options, right? Earlier, it used to be Internet Explorer and Firefox, ignore spellings, Chrome, Edge, Opera Mini, something like that. Do you all agree with me? Like we have these options. If you wanted to search something, see in my task bar at this moment, I have Chrome open. This is a browser, and if I type Edge, Edge is one of the browser. Internet Explorer it was recently descoped, so you don't find Internet Explorer, but earlier everybody know there is a browser called Internet Explorer. If you go to Opera Mini, you will have this Opera Mini web browser. So like that, we have multiple browsers available at this moment, right? So I said we should do web-based automation. Kada? Correct. Sorry, I'm speaking in Telugu. Web-based automation. So what is web-based automation? We wanted to do a automation in a web application, right? So when we wanted to do a automation, so everybody know, so for what is automation? Automation is robot has to do something automatically. Let's say it should open the browser automatically, it should click automatically, it should types automatically without my involvement. Now, if robot has to do something, you cannot speak to robot, right? Did you speak anytime with robots so far, whatever we have done so far, the learnings, whatever we have done? We are not speaking to robot. Like we are, this is not a robot movie like we are telling to somebody, do this action, then it will perform that action. This is not like that. We will have to create that particular automation design based on however you're creating that particular bot, then bot will perform according to the developer, whatever you have done. So who are the developers now? You four people plus me, all of these five people are the developers. Now you are basically a developer. You will have to choose Internet Explorer or Firefox or Chrome or Edge or wherever. Now you should decide which browser you wanted to interact with or do the automation. And in an ideal scenario, when you are doing this learning center, you can choose whatever you want, but make sure that particular browser is already installed in your machine. That is point one, installed. The Chrome is already installed, but then if I type Chrome, automatically it is installed here. So you need to understand that it should already install. That is point number one. Second thing, very important, please put utmost attention. The second point, whatever I'm saying, is very important. If you go to UiPath, and then if you go to Home, and then if you go to Tools, sorry, let me start again from first. Go to Home, go to Tools, go to UiPath Extensions, and then you will see UiPath extensions, Chrome extension, Firefox extension, Edge, Java, all of this. So if you want to do a automation in Chrome browser, you should basically install that extension. Okay, so that point I'm making it clear. If somebody has any problem in doing it, first of all, you check whether that extension is already installed or not installed. Install extension in UiPath. If anybody has any problem in installing the extension and all, we will speak separately how to do these things. These two things you should do. so that you will be able to do any automation in whatever browser you wanted to do. Okay, now let's start with this development, whatever we wanted to do. So this is my main XAML. I said web automation is a project. So open browser. Now let's go right side. If you see display name is this activity name. Let's say I want to open, let's say a Flipkart website or HR onboarding website or whatever website. Let's say open HR onboarding website. You can try the same thing, like same steps, but don't go with my website, because if you do the same things, you will not learn more. Go and take another website and do something like day to day, whatever you are doing. You just open that web browser. Okay. So now if you take input, so input means what? I need to give input to this activity. Without giving this input, this red color error will not go. And if you read that error, it says value for a required activity URL was not supplied. Now let me ask Sri Lakshmi, what do you mean by URL? Don't give me full
It's
form of
a
URL.
it's a IP address, sir.
Can I say www.google.com is a URL?
Yes.
Thanks. So if you want to log into your internet banking, your bank will provide you that net banking like a URL or whatever you wanted to do. That is called an URL, right? So for example, let me take let me take a browser. Just a moment. So this is Chrome. So when it's opened, let's go to HR onboarding form. So this is the HR onboarding form, right? So the moment I hit this URL, so this is called URL. Okay. So if you type flipkart.com, that is another URL. This is another URL. So you cannot directly go to your destination page without going to URL. That everybody agrees with me. So I wanted to open this URL. So I wanted to copy this URL. Okay. So to whatever website you wanted to go, copy that URL. Simple. Manually you go there, take this URL, copy by doing Control A and then Control C, copy it, go to UiPath Studio and then go to this URL section and then just give this URL. Now tell me what did I do wrong? It's throwing me an error. Compiler error and it says end of expression expected.
Double quotes.
Double quotes, sir.
Okay. So with this, what I'm trying to say is when you click on any of these three dots, for example, if you go to UI browser, if you click on these three dots, it says browser, which is browser is a variable. For example, if you go to new session, Boolean, this is a variable. So not only related to open browser or not only to today's session, in the future, whenever you're doing any development, if this is your activity, when you want to provide any information, when you click on these three dots, it says what is that variable it is expecting. String, everybody know I should always give double quotes. So just give double quotes, front and back, and the error is gone. So in case whenever you are giving any information in this property and then you still see an error, the simple next task you should say is, what is that variable it is expecting? It is expecting string, but I gave without double quotes, so that was a problem. The moment I gave URL, it's gone. It's gone. So you don't have any problem now. Now let's go and understand the next thing. I told I should choose a browser like Internet Explorer, Firefox, Chrome, Edge, but we did not give any browser so far, right? So where will it launch when I run this for the first time? If you go to this browser type property, okay, if you go to browser type property, it says choose the type of browser you want to use. The following options are IE means Internet Explorer, Firefox, Chrome, Edge. So where should I open this URL? I should tell the robot, right? I like I told, I cannot speak to robot. I should tell the robot, please open this URL and so and so website. Sorry, so and so browser. So let me tell browser type is Chrome. That's it. You don't need to worry what UiPath is doing. UiPath tool is doing everything. You just click on this drop down, select Chrome, and then you're done. Now let me close all Chromes available at this moment. Let me simply click on this and then do run file. Let's see what happens. You don't need to do refresh. I just did refresh in my machine, but you don't need to do any refresh. And also if you see automatically a Chrome website, a Chrome browser was opened, and you see automatically this URL was opened according to my requirement. So in your interviews, if somebody asks you, what is open browser? So when I wanted to open a particular URL, let it be a business URL or your Flipkart URL or your Amazon URL or ICICI or STFC or whatever learnings you are doing or any task which I will be giving you when you go with Vajrang for the next project or whatever you're doing, that particular project will have a URL. To open that URL, you will have to use this open browser activity, give that URL and then give the browser type and then you're done. So here just open the URL. We will learn all of this browser, new session, hidden, everything later on stage. So my first task is done. So now let's understand another activity in UiPath, which is called I want to type a particular value in the first name. I want to type a value in the first name. Type means typing the value. Everybody knows this English. Type means typing the value. So let's see if UiPath have any activity related to typing the data. T, Y, P, E. The moment you type, it says type into activity. Okay. So I want to type into, I want to type an activity. Now it says indicate target on screen. I think I am using the previous, let me use this type into of classic activity. I don't want to use the modern design activities like I already told you. So I'm using this type into activity. Okay, now if you see, I want to type where. I should tell, right? Robot, type where. To type a particular value, I should tell the robot to go and type in so and so text box, something like that. So this is something very interesting. Please be very active. I'm clicking on this hyperlink, this one saying indicate element inside a browser. I clicked on this. Now I should indicate that browser where I want to type, but that browser is not available, right? That browser is not active at this moment. Now, how do I go to that browser is in your keyboard. If you're seeing like this in your keyboard, what you should do is do Alt tab. When you do Alt tab, all the available all the available pages are showing you here. So this is my Chrome. I'll go here. Now you should tell the robot where do you want to type. I want to type in the first name, last name, date of birth, designation, mobile number. I should tell the robot where to type, right? Let's say I want to type in first name. I just click on this button. Just a minute. Sorry. Everybody with me? Any problem so far? Anybody have any problem so far? In understanding, let me delete this step again. Whatever I did related to type into, and then again show you. I took this type into activity, and then I said indicate element, and I wanted to indicate where I want to type. I want to type in first name. You don't need any programming knowledge to type a particular value in a web browser. Just indicate it. So far, so good. You have indicated where you want to type. Now, the next question is what you want to type. Where you have already indicated, but what you want to type. Because if you see this red error, compiler error, it says value for a required activity text was not supplied. Means what you want to type, you did not give that particular information. You only indicated where you want to type. Let's say I want to type the first name. Let's say Vanshika. Okay, I just gave this first name. I want to type Vanshika. Let's see if it is able to type. Before that, I want to close this Chrome again because I wanted to open it again. I'm saying run file. Let's see if robot is able to open that website and if it's able to type Vanshika in the first name text box. Once if it is typing, then I will show you a lot of other things. This is not a very normal level of training. In this training, what I will show you is understanding a lot of topics related to this typing to activity. So first thing, this Vanshika was typed. So if I want to type anybody else names, then what I need to do is I need to just change the name. Like it's if I wanted to type Sushmit's name, I need to just update this to Sushmit so that Sushmit's names will be typed instead of Vanshika. So this particular value is important. Automatically, it's type your name. So for clear, everybody.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you may ask me a question, sir. How is this typing? May I know how it is typing? And what are the challenges you will see? This is the positive scenario because this is a very common application to be frank. It typed very easily, but when you are working for the business applications in the future, when you are being a future developer, not all applications will respond like this. Like it responded, you directly typed Vanshika without any problem. Not all applications will work like this. What all the other informations you should know before you are typing something or before you're indicating something, what are the things you need to know? Right? First thing, when you took this type into activity, let me take another type into activity. Okay, so now we have already typed the first name. That's fine. Let it be Vanshika only. Now let's say we have taken another type into activity. If you go to this properties, okay, if you go to properties and expand this target section, here you will have something called selector. Okay, selector. And it says text property used to find a particular UI element where the activity is executed. So basically what I wanted to teach you today is what is selector. When you drag a blank activity, for the first time when you drag this activity, your selector is blank. But if you see the moment you indicate something, your selector is automatically filled. If you see the selector is already filled. So how is this filled? How it is showing as green color? What is this highlight section? These things we will learn. Okay, is everybody with me?
Yes.
Okay, so again I will repeat the same step. Okay, now what I did is this type into activity. I have put it to the center. Now you see selector is blank. So, sir, what happens when I indicate this? What all the properties will fill, sir? If that is your question, let me let me show you your delay after delay before your everything is blank, completely blank. You don't have anything at this moment. So let me indicate this, and I want to fill this last name. We have already completed first name, so I want to type last name. Let's say in the last name, I want to just say Kumari. So the moment you enter this text here, your text is filled with Kumari's name. And if you go to selector, selector is also filled with this selector where ID equal to INAME, tag equal to input, that automatically UiPath will take care. Again, I'm repeating you. When you indicate a particular field in the browser, automatically UiPath will take care in filling the selector. Now, sir, can I trust this, sir? Sir, will it work every time? Or do I need to do anything in the selector? Question I'm saying again is, sir, when I indicate a particular element, do I need to learn or do I need to do anything in selector? You will have to learn selectors concept completely. Because whenever you are simply indicating that something and then your selector is filled, you cannot trust this selector at some times. Because not all the time this selector will come according to your need. For example, in some cases, you will see something like URL excelcurl.com and then your space, it will show you with some date. Let's say it will give you something like 25/8/2022. So when it says 25/8/2022, this selector will work only today because today is 25. So today, only today, this selector will work. But tomorrow, when you wanted to type something into that element, tomorrow it will not work because tomorrow date is 26/8/2022. So that we will learn practically also what's the problems in the selectors and everything. But first of all, let's understand this window. Okay, I did indicate no problem. Sorry, I did validate. It's showing green color. Okay, so what is green color? When it says in a green color, that means your selector is valid. Means your selector is perfect. Always make sure your selector should be in green color whenever you're trying to type something or trying to do any action in the URL. If you see ID equal to iname, let me change this to something else like iname test. The moment you change this element, this particular things, whatever you have, we call it as attribute. The moment you change something here and then you see the top, it shows in yellow color. And it says that label saying the selector was modified. Please revalidate. So what all the colors you see in the selector button, selector window. In selector window, we basically see three colors. One is green, which is like valid selector. Yellow, if you modify the selector, then you see the selector window in yellow color.
Sir,
And finally,
your voice is
the very
breaking
bad
and video also not connecting properly.
testing.
Is it same for everyone or? Smith, is it same for you?
Yes, the voice is breaking and the screen is slow.
Yeah, screen also little behind.
Okay, let me see uh, if it's working now. Just tell me if you still see this issue. Just let me know.
Sure.
Okay, so currently I'm typing A, B, C, D, E. Is that in sync?
No, sir,
No.
I don't see.
No, sir.
Just a moment. Sure, what's the problem? I will continue for some time. See if it's still any problem, then we will have to continue in the next class. Maybe I'll extend this hours. Okay, just see if you're still seeing problem. Okay. So where did we stop is? Lakshmi now able to hear me?
Yes, sir. We are discussing about colors in selector window.
Well, okay, okay, super. So, like I told, in you'll see three colors. One is green color, one is in yellow color, and one is red color. So when you find green color, it is a valid selector. When it is in yellow color, that means you have modified something in that selector. When you see red color, it is invalid selector. Okay, now let's see here. If you go to UiPath Studio, I just changed this selector and then I did validate. The moment I did validate, it was not able to find that element in the web page. Okay, now let's see. I am removing this test, whatever I typed just now. Again, I'm doing validate, then it was in green color. But if I type something else, it is in red color. So it was not able to find this ID element in that web page. So I will help you understand what is this ID, what is this tag, everything. Whatever you need to understand related to the selector, that I will definitely help you understand. But understand the colors. If you see green color, it is valid. Okay, if you still have doubt if it is valid or not valid, if you see this highlight button, just click on this highlight button. See, this particular box is highlighted in red color. Okay, now again I will show you. I just clicked on highlight color and then this text box is highlighted. Okay, so whenever you want to type something, you should use this type into activity and indicate that activity and go to selector and see if it is valid or not a valid. And then if not, go and click on highlight and see if it is correctly highlighted here. If it is highlighted, definitely it will type the value like this. I will close this web browser and run this again. Okay, it opened that web browser. And once this page loaded is completed, it said first name was typed, which is Vanshika. Last name was typed, which is Kumari. We have only trained the robot to type these two fields. So it typed successfully without any problem. So for clear everybody, or you're still seeing any lag in the screen or any internet issues?
The voice sometimes is breaking.
Yes, sir. Voice is still breaking.
Yes,
But
sir.
concept
Me
did you
also.
understand? Okay, okay. My voice is breaking. I understand. But concept did you understand how to type a particular value in a web field or any problem? Did not understood the concept or understood the concept? Like just the same thing, like type the value in a web application. Anybody have any problem?
All good.
Smith, you're saying something?
It's all good.
Okay. So now let's learn something else. Okay, type into we have already learned, right? So let's try to learn this concept called click activity. So click means if you want to click something, then you will use this click. So click, if you go to classic folder, you will have this click activity, drag and drop it to the center. Now in the click activity, if you want to click something, then indicate element and click. Let's say if the gender is male, you click this, or if gender is female, you click this. So this is how you basically try to click any of the element in any web page. For example, if you want to click submit button also, it is possible. Let's say not this click activity, which is inside this classic folder. You will have this click activity and just indicate and then just say submit. Now let's see if it is able to type first name, last name and everything. Now let's say instead of Vanchika, let's try to give another name here. Let's say Sri and here we'll give Lakshmi. Okay. Now let's see if it is again updating with the new person's name. I am doing run file. What is able to open that web page. So that is via open browser activity. After opening the browser, I should I should type Sri in the first name, Lakshmi in the last name. I should click on gender, which is on female, and then I should be able to click on the submit button. And then I got this employee ID. So that means submit button also clicked. So now you may ask, sir, how do I click this checkbox? So this square box is called checkbox. Round mark is called radio button. Okay. So in the future, if somebody is asking you, what is the difference between a radio button and a checkbox? Like this square box, radio button should be applicable for a field like gender. You can only select one gender for one person. For example, the gender is male or female. But for example, if you have, let's say the question is something like this. What all the countries have you traveled so far? So I would have traveled to India. Sorry, I'm in India. I would have traveled to UK. I would have traveled to US or different country. So in that option, you can select multiple checkboxes. So gender is something you would have to select only one. So where the selection is to be happen only for one in the options, then that is called a radio button. Where you wanted to select multiple options, then it's a checkbox. Now to select a checkbox in UiPath, you will have an options like check, and then you see check. Just put this check at the top and then indicate this checked field. Okay. Now after it indicated everything, let's put a message box so that we will know if robot was typed it or did not type it. Yes, sorry if my voice is still breaking because I cannot do anything at this moment. If you did not understand anything, we will again cover it tomorrow. I am closing all of this on the Chrome session. So I am trying to help you understand to type, to click on the checkbox and basically do these actions. So after this session, I want you to choose any of your own website and do these actions like clicking, typing, selecting the things. Drop down is also another field in the website. Discussing the later on stage. Website is still loading. Lakshmi, gender, checkbox was clicked. See, as of now, we have not clicked the submit button. Okay, we have not clicked the submit button because I put this particular message box to stop before I click on submit button. So all these three names like Sri Lakshmi, gender, everything was typed. Now if I say okay, then submit was clicked and then you got the employee ID and official email ID. So same things, whatever I have done in today's session, you can do it on your own. And I'm 100% sure you will definitely see challenges in doing on your own website. For example, you can take some websites like Money Control. This is one of the website. You can choose this website or you can do whatever you want and try to do something in this website, but if you want to click some activity or if you want to get a particular information. So if you see in this, we have clicked this, typed this. If you want to get something again in the UiPath, you have an option called get text. Okay, get text will get the data from a particular field. So this also you can explore, and then please try to do this exercise by choosing any of the website. If you want me to give any website, also I will post it in our group. Okay, I will, maybe you can choose something like this. There is a particular website called Bookboon. So this is one of the website. You can also use this for your automation. Your task is, hope everybody is able to hear me okay and see my screen okay, or still having very difficulty to understand what I'm saying. Sri Lakshmi, can you confirm?
Yes, sir. I can understand. It is bit behind. Still okay. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. But sorry, I cannot do anything which is not in my control, but from tomorrow I'll see something that I can do. So
No
what I'm trying to
problems.
say here is everybody can do the same task. Your task is go to this website called bookboon.com, and first of all create your own account. Maybe you can create your own account in whatever way possible. I think this is free only. You don't need to pay anything like that. If it is free, then you basically have to click on this login button. So click on this login button. To click what activity you have, you already know it is a click activity. You come to this page, use click activity and then click login button. After clicking login button, you should basically have to give your email ID, give your password, and then do enter. For example, I don't know if I have my email ID already registered, but let me see. User not found. Okay, you can create. I have not yet created my account, so you can create your own account if you want to do it in this website. But if you want to choose any other website, it's up to you. And try to use these activities in UiPath, like click activity, type into activity, get text activity, and one important activity you can see that I will explain anyhow into the session. Let's first explore that option. Okay, so I am closing everything. If I'm telling you, let's say I am typing it like this, you, and then after 5 seconds, after 5 seconds, P, and then A, and then T, and then H. If this is my requirement, I want to type each and every character after 5 seconds delay. If somebody is asking you, is this possible in UiPath? Is this possible to type one character, U space U, after that 5 seconds wait, and then I, then wait for 5 seconds, P, then wait for 5 seconds, A, and then T, and then 5 seconds, and then H. If is this possible in UiPath? If somebody is asking you, the answer is yes. You can do that. Let me show you how do we do that. Let's take this one. To type Lakshmi, let me go to this option called delay between keys. Hope everybody is seeing my screen properly. Here you have this property called delay between keys, and to put a delay between one key and another key. Let's say after L, I want to give 3 seconds delay, and then A, then 3 seconds. Then I should give here 3000. 1 second is equal to 1000 milliseconds. So if I'm giving 3000, it is 3 seconds delay. So let's see if the robot is taking 3 seconds to type each character 3 seconds. And this particular property is very important because some applications you will have to type it like this. If you type Lakshmi at one go, that application will not behave properly. So you will have to know this property. Let's see L 3 seconds. A, and then 3 seconds, 3 seconds, 3 seconds, 3 seconds, 3 seconds, and then done. Okay, so in your interview, can you do it like this? Yes, you can do it like this. And what is the option to do that? In the UiPath Studio, you will have this option delay between keys for 3000, which is 3 seconds. If you want to increase your time, you can just play with these options, but this is what you need to do. Okay, now let me introduce another option. Okay, another option or another activity which is called set text. Set text. If you do set text and indicate this and indicate to designation. Let's say I want to put a designation saying assistant director supervisor. Let's say this is my designation. Okay, now let's go and see what's happening. Let me close everything. Let's understand one by one how it is working. Okay, website is opened. Okay, so just observe this first name, how it is typing. Okay, so if I'm doing step into, it's typing SREE, like how we manually enter Sri. Like if I want to manually type Sri here, I need to do it like this only, like however I am doing it via keyboard, it is doing like that only, SREE. Okay, now let's see how this one is typing. For Lakshmi, I have put 3 seconds delay. So LAKSHM and then I. So it took 3 seconds. Now, if you see this new thing, whatever we have introduced just now, which is designation, I said assistant director supervisor. Please put utmost attention for this activity, how it's working. So let's see how it's working. Now let's see how much time or how it is happening to update designation. I'm doing step into. See, designation when you put assistant director supervisor at one go. At one go, type that full text, not like ASSITANT director supervisor, not like that. Okay, hope you understood the difference between these two activities, whatever I showed. Whatever I showed here, right? Set text activity, type into activity. Sushmit, can you tell me what is the difference between set text activity and type into activity, whatever you would have seen so far?
Type into activity is typing just like a human would type, and set text activity is typing one at a go.
One attack, super. And if you want your robot to perform a bit faster, which activity would you recommend me?
Set text.
Set text. But yes, answer is set text. But one thing you need to remember is in some applications, set text may not be working as expected. I'm telling again, in set text activity may not work as expected for some applications. What is application? HR onboarding form is one of the application. So like that, set text may not work as expected for some applications. So you should go for type into. And for some applications, type into may not work as expected. So you should go for set text. But at least one of these two things will work. Okay. In very rare, very worst cases, both of these activities will not work. But 99% cases, at least one of these two activities will work to type to set a value in a text box, like I showed you in this example. Hope everybody is clear. And for faster, you should use set text, but set text as a problem, which is like for some applications, it may not work as expected. So you go for type into. Type into will also work in most of the cases. And if type into is not working, it should work in set text. If both of them is not working, we have another different options, but I don't think you need to understand those level of things at this moment. But overall, just to indicate your element and wanted to type everything is same. If you're clear, I'll again finally close with some important points. Those are, you should never give a values like this, like Lakshmi, Sri, assistant director, supervisor, something like this. Because told you in the beginning of our sessions also, these are all called hard coded value. So in your real time projects, you will not see a values like inside the double quotes. Always give a variable, okay, variable, and then you can pass that variable inside it. So that based on what value you have in that variable, then that value will be typed. So always whenever you are doing a practice also, instead of hard coding the values, try to give the variables inside the type input. For example, if I want a variable to be inserted here, I can take an assign activity and then do a control K. Let's say customer name. And then let's say I want to put the customer name as, let's say Susmith, for example. Now I can take this customer name here. Instead of having these double quotes, I can just say see you, automatically you see that variable name, just select that variable name. So when you run this, as of now, whatever we have in customer name, which is Susmith, will be typed. If I want some other person, I can just remove this and say Nirmala, and next time Nirmala will be typed. Okay, got it right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions before we wrap the call? Have you learned something? This application related things, whatever we have discussed, have you learned something?
Yes, a lot,
Yes,
lot of.
sir.
So please practice. You can take your own website. If you want me to give any other website, also I can give you. But ultimately, what I wanted to do is do this exercise, or else you can choose same application, whatever I have taken for this demonstration purposes. You should basically try to type the first name, last name, date of birth, designation, mobile number, do the gender selection. If you want to select male, if you want to select female, click on this checkbox, click on submit. Finally, use get text activity to get the employee ID, official email ID, and then your bot is stopped. So at least try to do this exercise, complete exercise from start to end. I would estimate at least it will take 2 hours for you generally to do this exercises and understanding the selectors and everything. And with that knowledge, if you do this challenge, because I would definitely ask all of you people to show me this particular exercise. This is the exercise. Like finally type first name, last name, date of birth, designation, mobile number, gender selection. Click on this button, then do submit. This step I want everybody to complete it today. I mean until you meet me tomorrow. Then we will continue with the next steps. Clear, everybody?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Super. Thanks, everyone. Vanshika, you have any question?
No, sir.
Super. So please practice this. If you, I will also share that URL just a moment. So this is the URL HR onboarding form. Maybe you can also start with this because you're all in a very basic level. So start with this website. Do this exercise. Get all of these things done. Clicking, typing, everything. Then from whatever you have learned, I will definitely first 5 minutes. I'll ask everybody to share your screen and do this. I am 100% sure you'll see some challenges in terms of adding an extension, like the first step I told, or opening a browser, you would have seen some access. Any problem, I want you to face that problem and fix that problem. Tomorrow, don't come back and say at 8 o'clock, sir, something is missed, something I did not understood. Whether you have understood or did not understood, your output will tell me tomorrow. In that case, I will close the call. Thanks everyone for joining. Have a nice day. Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, sir.